Hey everybody, it's Glyne here, and it is time for our weekly Leadership Truth video series. And this week's Leadership Truth was firing never gets easy. And I would say, and it never should get easy, right? It should never be easy to fire somebody. One of my first firing experiences was absolutely horrible. It was just, tears everywhere. I felt horrible. The individual felt horrible. They felt that I hadn't given them the feedback or enough of a chance. I felt like I had been giving them feedback, but they hadn't been kind of getting it. I think I can look back, 25 years later, and I can see that I was giving them feedback, but I was really pussyfooting it. I was really being kind of too gentle around where they were not meeting expectations. And I think one of the things I took from that experience was that I never wanted to fire anybody again. And so what I've really adopted over the years is an approach that's really more of a strengths-based approach to working with people on my team. And so I'm constantly kind of having conversations with them about what they're enjoying about the job and where their concerns are about the job and what they can do to get better. And I have that in a very back and forth dialogue kind of way, which gives me the opportunity to share where I see their strengths, but also where my concerns are. And over the years, that's allowed me to, with members of my team, co-create roles with them where we've been able to move them into new positions. And so you might technically say people have been fired from one position because they've been moved into another position because it wasn't working out in one position. But what I will tell you is that it doesn't feel like firing to the person. It feels like they've been evolving and growing and moving into a role that's more suited for them. I find that often people, bomb in roles because either they were the wrong person for the role to begin with, or we put them in the role and then our needs for the role expanded and grew, and they weren't given either the opportunity to grow with that role, or really their skill sets were more equipped to do something else, and we didn't acknowledge that. We continued to try and stuff them down that role because that was the job they were in. And so I think as we think about people's careers, as managers at the roundtable, we talk about we have 3 roles to wear. We have to be the career coach, which is about understanding where the person can contribute. We have to be the career realist, which lets people know where they're meeting expectations or not. And we also have to be the career advocate, which is if that person is not right for us, can we find them a role in another part of our business? Can we modify their role to be more aligned to what their strengths are? Or can we help them find a role outside of the organization that would be better suited for their strengths? I really feel that firing should be a very last resort with people. I feel the same way about those personal improvement plans, PIPs. God, get rid of those. That is all those things do is reduce people's self-esteem and make them feel poorly about themselves. I think as managers, we need to be looking at how do we help people bring more of their strengths to their work, and in doing that and having conversations about that, it is much easier to help guide people in the right direction, and hopefully that'll help you from ever having to fire anybody ever again. So firing should never be easy, and I think, in fact, if we have better career conversations on an ongoing basis, we can hopefully mitigate having to fire people and instead can just help them shine in other roles. All right, thanks so much for tuning in this week. Hope you enjoyed this week's Leadership Truth. Look forward to dishing up another one next week. And if you have a truth for me, send it my way. Thanks so much. Have a great week.